We may not have their bodies, but their lives still meant something, and there is a place to go.
Calling for closure, it's decision day in the hearing to declare 3 missing brothers dead, the ruling from the courtroom, and the words from the judge. Plus, how a student's quick actions kept his family safe.
And temperatures turning much colder tonight as rain showers transition to some snow showers. I'll have more in your full forecast coming up in just a bit. Kaylee.
Thanks for joining us on WTOL 11 News on Plus. I'm Kaylee Marin-Tett. Let's get to your top stories for the day. Today, there was a ruling in Lenawee County.
Alexander William Skelton, Andrew Ryan Skelton, and Tanner Lucas Skelton are presumed to be deceased as of November 26, 2015. Presentation of evidence, however, does not present clear and convincing evidence that John Skelton murdered these children.
With that, a judge officially declaring the missing Skelton brothers dead. She did not find enough evidence to rule Andrew, Alexander, and Tanner's dad, John Skelton, killed them when they went missing in November of 2010. Instead, they're now declared dead 5 years after they were last seen alive, which is November 26th of 2015. That's according to Michigan law. Melissa Andrews takes us through the case.
Yeah, I wouldn't go. I mean, everyone else got lawyers, I don't. I'm at a disadvantage. Anything I say isn't going to make a difference right now.
The last person to see the boys alive, their father, John Skelton, refused to participate in the hearing to declare them dead.
He didn't even bother to show up today. He doesn't want any part of anything to do with these children because he murdered them.
Please raise your right hand, sir.
4 witnesses, including the former Morenci police chief, a Michigan State Police detective, an FBI agent, and an expert in proof of life, all testified they're 100% certain Alexander, Andrew, and Tanner Skelton were murdered by John on or around November 26, 2010.
No doubt in my mind.
Each member of law enforcement went through the stories Skelton told them about where the boys were and who had them, all leading to dead ends. They said John destroyed the family's home and wanted Tanya to have nothing. He spelled that out in a suicide letter.
It was addressed, Dear Tanya, love John. Certain parts of the note that we learned from the investigation read, you need to be strong now. Sorry I hurt you yet again. This time it was on purpose and to kill my pain of losing you. I had no one here. It continues, I guess my actions today will guarantee you won't have to see me again or in heaven. I pray God will forgive me, but I know it won't happen. May you find peace in the days to come. You will hate me forever, and I know this.
What was he saying?
Tanya, I killed the boys.
Then other lies leading police on wild goose chases.
He is, I believe, is it 95% sure that the boys were in a dumpster near Holiday City, Ohio. He urges the interviewers to respond and get his boys.
He had no excitement, no elation that we found this person who he initially told me would help us find the boys. He looked scared to death.
Evidence on his computer showed the woman he claimed to give the boys to was created by him. And he also searched poisons and other ways to kill.
He'd conducted a search on the 20th of November, how to break a neck.
So there was proof of life before November 26, 2010.
Correct.
And there's been no proof of life since November 26, 2010.
Correct.
Their mother said it's time to give her sons a death certificate, a date of death, and give them the respect of saying what truly happened.
Their dad showed them no respect. And I shouldn't even say their dad. John Skelton showed them no respect. Because any loving father would not have done what he did. And I owe them the respect that we may not have their bodies, but there's still their lives still meant something, and there is a place to go.
That was Melissa Andrews reporting. You can find the entire court hearing right now on WTOL 11 Plus and our WTOL 11 YouTube page. Four 22-year-old men are now behind bars. Diamani Lear, Delvion Lear, Omarion Coleman, and Shamir Hughes are facing charges in connection to yesterday morning's shooting death of a 16-year-old. They were all in court this morning and are each being held on $1 million bonds. According to court documents, the four men met with a 16-year-old Joseph Johnson on Woodward yesterday morning for a gun sale. That's when police say Johnson was shot at least once in the chest. Police eventually found and stopped the four suspects on Sylvania Avenue. Right now, it's not clear who pulled the trigger or who was buying the gun from whom. The defendants are due back in court next week. Day 3 of the trial for a woman accused of driving while intoxicated into a child's birthday party has wrapped up. Marshella Chittister is facing 9 charges, including 2 charges of second-degree murder. The defense argued against these 2 charges today, saying there was not enough evidence to show intention on Chittister's behalf. The judge saying the requirement of creating a high risk of death or bodily harm was satisfied. The prosecution called witnesses to testify about the blood that was collected from Chittister to record the blood alcohol concentration. The defense cross-examined the forensic technician who tested Chittister, asking specifically about a trace amount of acetone that was detected.
That is where our calibration curve starts. So anything below that, we cannot guarantee the accuracy of the number because we don't look that low. Part of our quality control is that all 4 results have to meet within a certain percentage of the average, otherwise the sample is repeated.
Okay, and so they were within that certain percentage in this case and it didn't have to be repeated?
Yes.
The prosecution rested its case, and coming up tonight at 11, we'll have more on who the defense called to the stand. A Toledo man died while in custody at the Monroe County Jail. According to the Monroe County Sheriff's Office, corrections officers found a 56-year-old inmate unresponsive in his cell just before 4 a.m. yesterday. The Sheriff's Office says officers immediately started CPR. When first responders arrived, they took over, but the man couldn't be revived. The incident is still under investigation. Right now, Toledo Mayor Wade Kapsakavage just wrapped up his State of the City address. Steve Iwanek was there for the highlights of the speech. Steve, what was the mayor's theme this year?
Yeah, well, Kaylee, the theme is simple. Progress, not perfection. Mayor Wade Kapsakavage dove into a bunch of different topics, ranging from how does Toledo improve its housing situation and increase its population, to also acknowledging that in the city, stats for crime are going down and they're trending in the right direction. Now, he started off, Mayor Kapsakavage did his speech tonight, talking about some of those crime stats. And across the board, the city shared that things like auto thefts and robberies, and in most particularly violent crime, homicides in particular, are all trending in the right direction. So far in 2025, there have been 4 homicides, which is a lot lower than when he had said last year in 2024 at this time, March 5th, there were about 12 homicides. Now, the 4 this year, 3 of the 4, the victims are 18 years old or under. But despite the fact that they are in this particular situation with the 4 homicides being lower, Mayor Kapsakavage says there's still a lot more work to be done, but the progress is heading in the right direction.
But the fact of the matter is, even after an 18% reduction 2 years, a 30% reduction 2 years ago and an 18% reduction last year, so far this year, March 5th to March 5th, we're down an additional 67%. We're moving in the right direction.
Now, Kapsakavage also announced today a new public safety director. George Kral, former Toledo police chief, is going to be put into that spot, and his duties start on Monday. And we will continue to bring you the coverage from the speech coming up tonight at 11 o'clock. For now, here in downtown Toledo, Steve Iwanek, WTOL 11.
All right, thanks, Steve. There's new information on some bills in the Ohio General Assembly that look to get rid of anything related to diversity, equity, and inclusion in Ohio schools. Senate Bill 1 focuses on DEI in higher education, which would prohibit universities and professors from taking positions on controversial topics. The House held its first hearing on the bill after it passed in the Senate last month. A similar bill focuses on doing the same to DEI in K through 12 schools. 25% of Ohio students are chronically absent. Chronic absenteeism is missing 10% or more of the school year. In Lucas County, we're seeing a decline in the rate. For school districts like Toledo Public, Washington Local, Springfield Local, and Ottawa Hills, Oregon City, Maumee City, and Anthony Wayne Local are all seeing a decline in absenteeism for the 2024 year. As for Wood County, school districts like Bowling Green City Schools, Eastwood Local, Lake Local, Northwood Local, Perrysburg, and Rossford are all declining. Last fall, Governor Mike DeWine said he wanted to see those numbers go down. New tonight, a Washington local school student is being hailed a hero. Landon Kelly is a second grader at Hiawatha Elementary School. The school gave him the Super Kid Hero Award. Landon saved his family and their house from a fire this past Sunday. Landon tells WTOL 11 he noticed smoke and flames and quickly got his parents' attention, and then they called 911. His father says if fire crews got there 5 minutes later, he believes they would have lost everything. He also says it's always good to have a plan in place.
So I said fire, fire. Then Zayden got out of his bed, and Corny, my stepmom, looked and she saw the fire. So I woke up my father.
I really think that it starts with us as parents. Like, we have to let them know that, hey, this is what happens if this happens. This is what you do if this happens.
Landon's father tells WTOL 11 everyone is doing fine and recovering from Sunday. Well, if you want to see more coverage of your community, you can connect with us online and on social media. You can scan the QR code that's on your screen and connect with us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. Till then, we'll see you back here tomorrow.
And our next big weather impact is a cold front sweeping through the area. That is going to usher in a chillier breeze with wind gusts of 40 miles an hour that will be possible. After a rainy day, that rain is likely to be turning to some wet snow late this evening and overnight. Temperatures are already starting to take a plunge down to 38 in Toledo, 37 in Bowling Green. And I expect that we're going to drop near to below freezing overnight tonight. Still a few light misty rain showers across the area with additional showers across northern Indiana. And that cold front is currently situated near the Fort Wayne Metro, and that is going to spell some big changes in our weather. Here's a look at that cold front and some snow that has already started to filter in near Chicago and over Lake Michigan, and you'll see some of those snowflakes flying tonight as the front sweeps on through. Now, quite a powerful storm system out towards the mid-Atlantic and East Coast region. There is ongoing severe weather, and that thunderstorm threat confined to the Atlantic seaboard, and nothing that you need to worry about here at home. We do have a wind advisory though, and that is showing you the risk of gusts to 40 miles per hour. So that is also going to impact your evening and overnight plans. And look at all these wind alerts stretching back towards Chicago and St. Louis. It is very windy across the Great Lakes and Midwest, to say the least. So the hour-by-hour forecast between 8 p.m. to midnight, that is when some of this wet snow is going to start to work on through. Temperatures are initially going to be above freezing, but overnight tonight as we cool on off, a very, very minor accumulation is possible, a coating at most. By daybreak tomorrow, there are going to be a few flurries for the bus stop, mainly south and east of the Maumee River, and it's going to be a much chillier day on tap. What about those temperatures? Overnight lows drop down to about 29 to 30 degrees, so we do dip below freezing. Any snow that accumulates is going to be incredibly minor, and into the afternoon, highs are going to be in the upper 30s with a much cooler breeze, so don't expect those temperatures to do much warming up through the day. 39 is as good as we're going to do in the temperature department. Gusts out of the northwest could approach 30 miles per hour, and mainly cloudy skies are expected. Our next system comes in late Friday, could produce another round of some rain and snow showers. Again, minimal accumulation with that one. The weekend starts off downright chilly and ends a bit more seasonable with temperatures in the middle 40s. Now, despite the brief cool down that we're expecting, the longer range